Hey everyone, Wolf Lord Rho here. Before I begin today, a big thank you to Mike for the virtual gift voucher. Thank you very much, my friend. I really appreciate all the support. Thank you. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed Jagatai Khan Week last week, and friends across the pond, you enjoyed your July the 4th. And well, Jagatai Khan Week pretty much burnt out my voice, and it certainly took a few days to recover. But today, we are talking Vulcan, Primarch of the Salamanders, and speculating just what could be in store for him now he is part of the Siege of Terra. General spoiler warning, because we will be talking general lore across the Horus Heresy, so you have been warned. But with that said, let's just jump straight in. Now, as I'm sure mostly everyone knows by now, during the events of the novel Old Earth, we had a massive update to the pre-established lore, when Vulcan made it to Terra. Never before had it been known that Vulcan was actually on Terra during the Heresy, let alone place a device into the Golden Throne, turning it into the ultimate end-game weapon for the Emperor. Should the Emperor fail, the throne will explode, taking all of Terra with it, giving Chaos a blow from which they will never recover from. But the point that I found extremely interesting was that Vulcan saw what his father had foreseen, that the gateway to the webway will fail, and so Vulcan now stands sentinel before the throne, ready and waiting to defend his father. For when that gateway opens and the demons pour in, Vulcan will be waiting. But the interesting question is, how and when will this happen? Or will it even happen at all? Now obviously Black Library has something in mind, or they wouldn't have even bothered introducing Vulcan to Terra in the first place. Although it would be quite amusing, Vulcan just at the end of the siege. Oh, okay, nothing happened. But we know holding the portal closed is a tremendously draining effort for the Emperor. His powers are being pushed to the limit, especially having to shield the Imperial Palace from the forces of chaos above. And it certainly appears thus far that the effort is taking its toll. So we could see a massive push from the forces of chaos that the Emperor simply cannot hold back. Or an event on the surface that requires the Emperor's intervention, drawing too much of his attention away from holding the gateway closed, enabling the demons the other side to force it open. Out of the two, I think I'd prefer that one. The Emperor's desire to aid one of his sons, inadvertently costing himself, placing himself in more peril. And if Vulcan is going to go toe to toe with the demons, there's not much more of an evocative image than Vulcan being the last line of defense, his father sitting mere meters away on the Golden Throne. And that could open a very intriguing storyline, that this is the real reason the Emperor boards the vengeful spirit, because they have no other choice left. The demons are in, they are in the throne room, and they cannot be stopped, merely delayed, one step at a time, given in blood. So the Emperor must kill Horus, the chosen champion of chaos, before the demons reach the Golden Throne. Vulcan and the Custodes holding the line, selling it dearly. And that would certainly add an extra element of drama to the already intense scenario. Can you imagine the scene, Vulcan and the Custodes against the limitless hordes, as the other Primarchs and the Emperor prepare to board the vengeful spirit, as Sanguinius utters that immortal line of "Your silence terrifies me." The reunion the Primarchs have waited for so long, to see not only their father, but their brother Vulcan, only again for events to prevent them from embracing the moment. The conversation with the Emperor as Malcador takes his place, all done in the shadow of a war, as Vulcan and the Custodes buy them every possible second. Now that would certainly fit with the theme of sacrifice that runs through the whole Siege of Terra. let alone the entire series. And it could well be an amazing scene. But I think we'd all like a real reunion between the Primarchs. And well, that can only really happen one way. And it's the most likely way that Vulcan's future will play out. And it would follow the much more established history of the lore. For once Malcador the Sigillite assumes the throne, then Vulcan will be needed. For all Malcador's power, he is no emperor. And if the portal to Terra is to be forced open, it makes the most sense for this to happen once Malcador assumes the mantle. For despite all of his power, he simply cannot keep it closed permanently. Now it can't open completely and it can't remain open because there's simply too many demons waiting to come in. And from a story perspective, this would invalidate Malcador's sacrifice. So it's not going to open that way. But there could well be moments it becomes too much for Malcador when the tides of demons manage to start slipping in. And of course, I'm not talking one or two, there needs to be the intense scenario and possibility of failure. We are talking a literal tide of demons here, but compared to the full force of them waiting the other side, this is one that Vulcan and the Custodes can hold back. And I say Custodes because really, Vulcan can't do it all by himself. Despite his perpetual abilities, he is just one man. One Primarch, and the foes are simply too many for him to hold back. It will most certainly be a last stand, a final line of defense against the end of humanity. As the Emperor balds the vengeful spirit, the Blood Angels, White Scars and Imperial Fists are giving everything they've got upon the surface and upper levels of the palace. So too will it be Vulcan and the Custodes in the Imperial dungeon, within the throne room itself. Vulcan delivering his best "you shall not pass" moment as his beloved uncle Malcador gives every ounce of his psychic strength, saving only that last minute kernel for his returning friend, the Emperor. The question is, who or what will Vulcan and the Custodes come up against? Will it be just a numberless horde, or does there need to be something more? We have lore of Vulcan's actions after the heresy, and some of it pretty recently, so we know there can't be some kind of valiant action of Vulcan storming through into the portal, holding back the tide as the portal closes with him trapped on the other side. As awesome as that would be, it certainly doesn't appear likely. But I definitely feel that there needs to be something more than just a generic tide. And it can't be just a simple greater demon fight, as we'll have Sanguinius absolutely demolishing Kabanda. And not to mention the Khan's already ripped a greater demon's heart out with his bare hands. Vulcan, the strongest Primarch of all, needs his own moment. We're talking about the Primarch who held back when sparring against his brothers for fear of hurting them, who is literally at the peak of his powers, having been healed by the Emperor. This guy is ready to go. Whatever chaos throws through that portal, it needs to be something to take on Vulcan. So what can his moment be? Ripping the wings off a Lord of Change? Punching through a Great Unclean One? Or just going toe to toe against all four of the god's greater demons? Or maybe a surprise appearance of Draknien? I've got a feeling it could be the four greater demons. One after another, Vulcan tears through them, in what surely would be one of the most epic moments in the entire heresy. But whatever it is, I can't wait. Old Earth is definitely one of my favourite heresy novels, and that is entirely due to the Lord of Drakes, and he surely deserves his moment in the Siege of Terra. Some most certainly find it controversial that he is there, but for me, I think it's a fantastic addition, and that Vulcan of all the Primarchs really deserves to have his moment to shine. Hopefully that one last conversation with his father, a final goodbye. Because other than the established lore of Horus being the chosen son, the Emperor truly does seem very fond of Vulcan. In all their interactions, the care and enjoyment certainly is apparent on both their parts. But as always guys, what do you think? Where do you think Vulcan's story is going? Could we see an absolute curveball thrown and Vulcan accompanies his brothers aboard the Vengeful Spirit? Could we see Vulcan die again and again and again, but simply keep coming back to life to fight the demons again? Or will there be something completely unexpected? As always, drop your thoughts in the comments below. A huge thank you to all my subscribers. Your support really means a lot to me, it truly does. And if you're new, please consider subscribing to help the channel grow. And if you enjoyed this particular vid, then why not drop a like on it too. But with that said, I am off, and I'll see you all again real soon.